Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where, yes, as you can see, we are one co-host down. You should join us momentarily. But we're joined by a great guest this week. I'm, of course, your host, Mr. K. Asante, TKO Asante on all the places we communicate. And I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the one the man that makes Xbox era run the way it does. I call him the reviewing machine, Mr. Jessie Norris.
Hello.
Welcome, sir. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Still, I've been up for an hour yet. Still feel like I'm in the process of waking up, but it was a crazy September, to say the least. In October, not slowing down.
I wonder how you are able to do it, sir. Because, man, oh man, like, wow, this man reviews things. Like, I don't know how you're like AI, possibly. I don't know. This, like, there are so many reviews of yours, and they're always very well thought out and great. And you take your time. There's not enough time in the day, damn it. How the hell do you do it? You and the team over at Xbox Era.
This very comfy chair has gotten far too much use. I still try and get out, take the dog for walks, and do stuff. But as you know, in Florida, that means you're going to sweat your ass off outside of November through February. But yeah, no, this is it full time. And those days are a lot longer than 8 hours generally. But we're in growth mode, unlike Xbox.
Oh man, he wants to put the cart before the horse. We're gonna get
it's just the reality, but it's true. It's pretty much my favorite part of everything is just doing reviews and playing stuff. Onto a couple things now.
You have to love it for as much as you do it. You have to love it at that level. Oh, man.
It's a lot of fun to actually, the thing that everyone claims they care about but gets 1/100th of the clicks, which is like actually playing games and talking about them, compared to like you can have a rumor about a tiny game that gets 20,000 views and makes you a couple $100 on the website versus 110-hour review from playing it, writing it, editing it, making the video every time like we do, which I do think is it adds so much more time, but is worth it because of just how much it differentiates us. And 3 people click on it. It drives you crazy.
Yeah, I kind of feel, I see how you feel a little bit about that. Sometimes we like love doing like talking to developers on the show, right? But it seems like talking to developers gets the least amount of engagement.
And no one actually cares about how the sausage is made. They care about a rumor that one person gives on how some sausage might have been dropped.
That is all I care about, how the sausage is made. So I'll like engage in that like lovingly, and then most people won't watch it. And I'm just like, oh, that sucks.
Like you look at the Xbox expansion pack and Luke and all the amazing paths and Luke and all the
reviews.
Awesome so many incredible interviews, and the channel's like 1/50th the size you think it would be.
It should be, yes, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us early in the show, Mr. Everborn Saga. Good morning, sir. What's good?
What's happening, sir? What's happening? First of all, Jesse, what's going down?
I am tired. That was a crazy goddamn month, and it's only getting crazier. How are you?
I'm just as tired, and it was a crazy month for different reasons. See, everyone thinks that GCP stands for Gaming Circle Podcast, but as far as Everborn is concerned, it is the General Contractor Podcast, because I'm in the middle of a gut renovation.
He's basically building a house, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And if you see some of the stuff. Ooh.
Because I have nothing better to do, I decided to be the GC on the project. And so I'm installing windows, I'm putting in doors, hammering the nails.
He's doing his thing. And many of us are jelly sitting there in the back going, damn, that's some work you're putting in there, sir. Good for you, man. Good for you. That's awesome. Hey, shout out to all the wonderful people already in the chat. Shout out to Rave Damos. I see you in there. Cork and Steve. Aaron is here. VGC. What's going on, VG Fight School? It's good to see you, man. Once again, shout out to VG Fight School for always like, representing and shouting us out in the videos. I've been watching some of his videos. It's really cool to get the shout outs. It's really cool. We'll get into some of the nitty-gritties of the whole full screen experience thing, because you have something new to discuss today, right? You have something new to bring to the people.
I do. But before that, I just want to spend like 5 minutes or less on how great Sonic Crossworlds is.
Oh, he's already starting that. All right, well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, let us talk about what we have been playing. Mr. Everborn Saga, even though we usually go to the guest, I expected this. I'm sorry, Jesse. This is it's going to take a minute. Everborn Saga
has
a
Sonic game. Sonic Racing Crossworlds
okay.
is great. You have to say Sonic Racing Crossworlds or PR gets annoyed.
Sorry.
But yeah, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
At the higher
One
speeds.
thing, Jesse, you should know, Everborn Saga is the biggest unabashed Sonic / Sega fan on any air you can listen to anybody talk about it. So when this game came out last week, I expected copious gushing. He was like, well, I'm not really about them kart games. I'm like, what? This is a Sonic game that everyone is actually saying is good.
I was never really into Mario Kart, and I don't do demos, so I was just waiting for the main release. And this
is not even a good Sonic karting game. This is a good Sonic karting game that even Nintendo fans say give the new Mario Kart a run for its money. Wow.
There's so much to it. I love the rival system, so it's like sometimes, like, even if you can't come in first, as long as you can beat your rival in terms of points across the Grand Prix, the customization. I'm a surfboard guy. The boost vehicle that just feels better for Sonic than a car, because Sonic in a car makes no damn sense.
But you know, I heard you say that, and then some people, I heard a retort to that, which is he's in a car to give other people a chance.
That is cope, sir. It makes no sense. I do not accept that as an answer. But you know, like, it's really good. There's so many racers. I love the idea that they're adding racers from their other IP. Like, it's just really, really well done, and it has a certain level of polish there that sometimes you don't see from Sega. So I cannot praise this game enough, and it works with my schedule, because the way that I game is like, you know, past 11 o'clock at night until I fall asleep, which as I get older is like an hour or two. And I can just go in, do a Grand Prix, knock it out, try to come in first place or beat my rival, and then that's it. And then I go to bed for the night, and I got some gaming in. So, like, I love this game. I've also, like, I've been going back and forth between this and Shinobi, which we don't have to go over again, but Shinobi is fantastic. Like,
yes,
masterpiece.
Yes, it is.
Game. Sega is firing on all the cylinders.
One mistake in Shinobi.
Yes, sir.
Still don't think the platforming is as good as it could be. Everything else is masterpiece, but the platforming with you always have to jump backwards, and the amount of times he climbs up when you don't want him to, and some of the harder optional content drove me crazy. Everything else is damn near perfect.
I don't know if I've gotten that far to have that complaint yet, but I may share it as I get further. Some of the best platforming I've seen recently is in the Prince of Persia Lost Crown game. So, and I've heard some people compare it to that, but we'll see when we get there. But where this excels is that combo system. It really feels like they've kind of merged a platformer with a proper fighting game in the way that it's set up. And I love chaining the power-ups with the dash and the quick and heavy attacks. It's choice. So I could not be happier. I know there's a bunch of other games out right now, but I just don't care. I can play Shinobi and Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I don't know. I might be stuck with these for the next month. We'll see.
Very nice, sir. I appreciate. See, at least you tried it, right? Because I thought that it was going to be he wasn't going to try the racer. This is a Sonic game. He's not on brand if he's not capping for Sonic. Here we go.
Oh, here's the problem.
Late,
I had MJ Dark trying to shame me because I didn't want to play the demo, and then saying this Nintendo stand saying he's a bigger Sega fan than me. I couldn't allow it, so I was like,
he kind of got you. He kind of got you. All right. So Jesse, I know there are some games you can talk about, some games
I
you
look.
can't.
I had
as,
to look
as
at.
is the
I had
case.
to look at what's come out so I could remember what I can talk about.
For those who don't know, him and mainly him and some other members of the team crush games underfoot for review for the Xbox era. So at any given time, there are like too many games in. What can you talk about this week, sir? What have you been playing?
I was looking it up. I really started doing. I started doing them in 2020, like August 4th, and I did a fair number that year, but really started picking up like early 2021. I'm at 353 game reviews now, and if you mix in
353 game reviews.
If you mix in like the chairs and the headphones and the controllers and TV shows and stuff, it's like 415, I think, when I counted before.
That is wild, sir.
Yeah, the most recent things, man. I absolutely love Borderlands 4. I guess I'm lucky I'm on an all AMD system, and so it ran great for me because, like many games lately, it was only available on PC before launch. Xbox has had they're the only ones who really care about certification, it feels like, and it costs them on having review code ready. Yeah, Borderlands 4 was great. Dying Light the Beast was the best Dying Light game because it has, I think, the best movement, and I haven't seen that in a lot of reviews, or they're just like, oh, it's the same. I'm like, man, if you go back and play Dying Light 1 or even 2, and then you come back into this one, you're like, holy shit, this one is so much smoother. The story is whatever, but it's always kind of whatever in those games. It's not bad. Like, it's well written and well acted. It's just kind of predictable. I think
it seems like Dying Light always seems to really spend a lot of time in their IP, giving fans of it more content. Like, it lasts such a long tail. It's wild to me. They're unique in that, no?
Yeah, no, because I mean, Techland with their C engine, and they're doing all their things, and they're constantly adding and changing for their next games, and yeah, it's pretty crazy the amount of support they give. And this one's got more guns, unlike 2, which didn't really have them at all, I think, at launch, and then added them in later. Man, the main thing that's really kind of stuck with me, because I also did like little games like Moon Mystery, which is this little indie game, but they try and throw like every genre in it, and it's super ambitious, and you always like that. It's not good at all. I think I gave it a 5.5, but it tries really hard, which is awesome. But for actually recent things, the one that stuck with me the most is Silent Hill F.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I got a question for you, Jesse. I really liked what Bloober Team did with Silent Hill 2 Remake. I need to go back and finish it, but I was very happy with it. I think it was just like an onslaught of games that came out around that time, so it kind of got lost in the shuffle, but I don't remember not liking any of it. My question is, how would you compare what Bloober Team did with Silent Hill 2 to Silent Hill F?
Bloober Team did a really good job of modernizing something that was of its time quite a bit. I do think the overall structure, where the story goes, and overall gameplay, I prefer in F. It's set in 1960s Japan. The Chuds are mad because it is about the feminist movement that was going on around then. Because so much of the game you are playing as a high schooler. Jesus Christ, I've literally jumped to like 4 other games since this. Pretty sure her name is Himiko. It looks really good. It also, people have started taking the fog out with mods, and you're like, holy crap, this game is incredible looking when it's all colorful and vibrant. It is a survivally horror, melee only, really gross and disgusting and shockingly gory game in ways you can't really talk about without spoiling it. Because like when I did the review, they were like, up until this point, when Himiko passes out at this place, you can record anything and talk about anything, but please, after that, don't spoil it. I was like, okay, what the hell is going to happen here? And then it just went off the freaking rails. It is set essentially either in the town, which is seemingly abandoned, and taken over by monsters that are mixes of mannequins, like the series is known for, and just grotesque, demonic shit. You're trying to save your family and your friends, and then you're also getting knocked the hell out and waking up in like the spirit realm. And everyone always asks, what does the F stand for? it's not explicitly stated, but being, that part of the world, and there's a ton of little shrines for them. I think it's mostly fox, like fox spirit. So it's an incredibly good game. With you play through it once, you get a really bad ending, no matter what, and then you do a new game plus, and it's really smartly set up where whenever it's going to be a new scene in the new game plus, it tells you that if you try and skip it. So it's like, do you want to skip this new scene versus just skip scene right away when there's nothing new in it? It's very smart in a lot of its design decisions. I think the only negative I have is it does that fade to black, or it locks cutscenes at 30 no matter what. So you'll be running around, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're hit by a 30 FPS when I was getting like a locked 120 most of the time.
And you were playing that's on PC?
Yeah, that only had review code early on PC again, not on Xbox.
Okay.
Always a pain in the butt. Combat's okay. Like, it's not bad. They give it the appropriate amount of oomph when you hit something. You get that little slowdown. You really feel like you're going through. And most stuff dies really quick. And eventually they change it up enough. Where, again, I read some reviews and I'm like, it never changes, or it's always the exact same. Like, did you actually play through the whole thing? Because it definitely does. It was very surprising. I went into it hopeful it would be pretty good because I've enjoyed the series in the past, even though I've never played through a full one. I've mostly seen people play them and dabbled a little myself during the PlayStation gen. So this is the first one I've gone through start to finish multiple times. Thankfully, I got the better ending. None of them are good, but I got the bestest possible ending the second time. And yeah, easy to recommend.
It seems like this is a little more action focused than what was in Silent Hill 2. Would you?
Yeah, there's a fair amount of fighting, though. Whenever it's outside, you can generally just run away from it if you want, because it does have breakable weapons. But they always hand you more.
It doesn't seem fast paced. It seems very specific and like you go into combat wanting to go into combat, and you can avoid it easily if you wanted to. Is that the case?
It's very deliberate in its nature. Generally, the enemies are going to see you once you get close enough, but there are moments where they're trying to hide like these mannequins in the cornfield. As long as they have the right one, the little thing pops out of them. If you choose the wrong one based on the riddle, then you got to fight them. But you also can just say, screw it, run around, dodge, press A on every single one, get it to work right. It points you in the right direction to run, and then you just book it, which I eventually did a few times.
Yeah. So just from what I'm seeing in this footage and the other footage that I've seen, whereas in Silent Hill 2, it felt like you're kind of trying to survive. You get weapons, but they're really more to keep people off your back, as opposed to going and looking for a fight and doing melee action. So this seems interesting, and it does seem different enough because it seems like she's about to fight.
Yeah,
look at the size of that thing.
I think her fighting like she's barely a girl is said by people because she's more of a tomboy who likes sports, and she's on the running the track team, is why she's a good athlete. A lot of it is she wants to stand and fight and stand up for herself because society at that point, for thousands of years, hadn't really allowed women to do that. In her mind, I'm not a Japanese historian. Though I may look like one because I'm old.
Yes, most Japanese historians look exactly like you do. Indeed.
We got tons of katanas hanging up on our wall and no wives.
And no wives.
And the giant booba creature, everyone's favorite.
Wow.
She's got a cloaca at the bottom that spits out babies.
That is wild. Good morning, everybody. All right.
And I'm going to tell you, even from that footage, you haven't seen anything in that game.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's one of those things. All right. Well, this will be one of those that you play at night.
I hope to get to it one day.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't play that with the kids around.
And speaking of games that you don't play with your kids around, let me talk about what I've been playing. But before I do, let's catch up on a couple of these super chats because they're growing. Yes.
You had a whole argument this morning. You had a whole debate with VG Fight School and BK, Face BK 23. and why.
Like our like as the news gets tumultuous, so does our chat. They come in here ready to fight in the morning. Anyway, we started off with Sotek with a $2 super chat. He says, please hit the like button and sub. Gonna start a collection. If you know, you know. Shout out to all the Discord members. If you know, you know. And then, of course, Face 23BKNY with a $20 super chat says, VG Fight School keeps saying Xbox dominating, Xbox winning. The only thing Xbox is dominating is server crashes on their cancel page from everyone leaving or downgrading their service. Let the fight begin, ladies and gentlemen. That's the first one. All right, cool. And then, of course, because the great MJ Dark has to be slanderous on a Saturday morning, he leaves a $5 super chat and he says, shout out to Mr. Steal Your OS, Asante. K-Bama, day is coming. 10/16/25. Use code full screen experience to save 10% on an MSI Claw 8 AI. DS2 got it.
Oh my!
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of different ones in that one. Hopefully you know what we're talking about. If you don't, join the Discord. I think you'll understand. Anyway, thank you, MJ Dark. And then, of course, Erodimus, who's been a member for 17 months. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you being a member for so long. He says, remember, it's always Xbox's fault. We will remember that.
It is not always Xbox's fault. It's always the Series S's fault. You need to.
Okay.
Clarify.
Clarification. Okay.
I was gonna say.
Face 23BKNY with another $2 super chat says, did you read Bloomberg's article on Xbox's price hike? Sir, we will get there. We will definitely get there.
I have some thoughts.
I'm sure there's thoughts to go around. It's going to be an interesting show. Trying to keep it 2 hours, though, but it's going to be interesting. We'll see how we do this. Face joins that with another $20 super chat and says, at VG Fight School, PlayStation don't have to do anything. Xbox is destroying themselves, and all the good will and pro consumer moves they've done, their perception is down the toilet. Hush, hush your stupid rhetoric. Damn.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
Just an observation, and shout out to Face 23. He's always been a supporter of the show. But don't you find it funny that all the people who told you should be buying games this whole time are the ones that seem the most upset about the price on Game Pass going higher? It's a little bit interesting.
Here we go. All right.
Oh, no. I don't know, but go ahead.
Let's finish. Let's finish. VG Fight School retorts with a $10 super chat and says, at Face 23BKNY, how many copies of Game Pass sold this weekend versus Ghosts of Yotai? Wow. Oh man, this is some slander. Even one PlayStation guy was telling people to go stack up Game Pass cards. This thing writes itself. Man, this is going to be one of those shows today. And then the super chats finish off with, of course, another MJ with a $5 super chat says, President of Nintendo here. I played the demo, got to the Ultimate Edition of Sonic Racer. I just took your Sonic Race, your Sonic card, like K took your OS.
Oh my God.
Kojima.
So you got to be in the Discord to understand all the
most of what. Oh my God. Yeah.
There's a lot going on with that, but I'm sure we'll get into it.
Lord help us. All right. Well, I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to move swiftly along and tell you to join the Discord. If you don't know it, join the Discord. A lot of craziness in there. Anyway, I will talk briefly about Ghosts of Yotai, which I started playing. What was it? Yesterday afternoon? No. Yeah, I think it was just 2 days ago. 2 days ago. I did not get early access to it. I didn't even request early access to it. I knew I was going to enjoy it. I knew I was going to play it. This is early footage from being displayed here. This is not my footage. I should make note, and I will put in the source of where this footage came from in the description. I will say, generally, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I really like the game. I think it's. I've always been an advocate of when you try to make you put budget into like building a world and all that. it's always good to tell more stories in that world, right? The biggest slander that I had for games like Halo Infinite was that we didn't get more campaign stories in that world that you'd built, right? Like, don't just throw it away. Give us more stories there.
Yeah, it was built for that too. Like that
exactly,
UI was built to let it just plop in there.
To have more be added, and they ultimately never did that, right? This
they fired
feels
everyone.
a lot like that, right? Yeah, absolutely. This feels a lot like they started the Ghost of Tsushima franchise, and they went, look, we have a lot accomplished here. Let's tell more stories in this world. It doesn't, not to say that they didn't even up the ante though, because like graphically, specifically the assets and the models themselves, it looks beautiful, man. Like really well done. Like, I mean, in certain scenes, it looks like they're recording a video, like a video of two human individuals just kind of chatting, even though it's all still animated and drawn, right? So I'm still early days in. I'd say I think I'm about 2-3 hours in so far. Been recording some footage. I'll put something out at some point, but by and large, I think it's really great. I haven't tried any of the modes just yet because I tend to want to play this game. I tend to want to play it like, you know, how it's intended initially. So like start it up like as OG with the music, all stock, and then as I get through it, I will then start switching it up. Maybe do the various modes, you know, and you know, see how I feel about that. But still early days. If I have an observation, I wouldn't say it's slander, but an observation, which I think Everborn Saga might either will most likely perk up on. It seems less with Ghost of Tsushima and more with Ghost of Yotai. It seems that they are leaning into this idea of, at least in the English dub, it's like you're in a period piece. It's an old period piece time and all of that. But at least in the English dub, it sounds like you're in 2025. Like their dialogue. I know how you feel about that. Their dialogue, and then the way they go back and forth. It's like they could be on a subway station having this conversation. They could be in jeans and a shirt having this conversation, even though they're both holding samurai swords. You know. I know how you feel about that, everyone.
Somebody in the game says, "Hey, bro, this is lit."
Not quite that way. Not quite that drastic. But it's modern
Dragon Age
retort.
style.
Yeah. It is modern retort. And I knew as soon as I said this, I knew the great Lucius Augustus would respond. And he said, of course, this is why I say you should play it in Japanese. Yes, this is why you should play it in Japanese. But actually, look, I'm the kind of guy that in the 80s and 90s, I used to watch the USA channel. I used to sit back and watch the Toxic Avengers. I enjoy bad content. I enjoy bad content to a certain degree, right? And I know that when you put the Japanese subtitles, the Japanese dub rather on, and you put the subtitles, then it will really feel the way it should feel, right? And I will experience that. But I do enjoy doing the English one and just watching it just be like, if I close my eyes right now, they're at a subway station. They got guns in their hands. They're about to shoot each other.
Well, it wasn't like that in Shadows, which I think is what people a lot of people will compare. And you know, you look at Ubisoft, as crappy as their executives are, their actual devs are incredibly
are really good. Yes,
care about tradition and local stuff, like having the whole go through ancient Egypt mode in Origins and Greece and Odyssey and stuff like that. They are history buffs.
In schools. They used that as school material because Ubi did such a good job where you could just remove the game part out and walking through, like in Assassin's Creed Origins, walking through a day in the life of an Egyptian. And people use that to teach content in school because it was just so accurate. That's how good Ubi does what they do. So yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. What I would say though, in the comparison between the two, I would say this puts far more of an emphasis on the assets of the individuals, and Ubi's game puts more of an emphasis on the world. So like the world is far more lush and dense and beautiful, and you can see that it takes a little bit of and they sacrifice the humans themselves, this detail a bit, in facilitating that world being so dense and lush.
But it was also they had a full physics for the wind Like the wind would actually pick stuff up off the ground instead of flying. They
Yep.
were all about the world in Shadows way more than ever.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And you can tell here they got the message of like, you know, Hellblade 2 and went, oh, you guys want that content, you want the people, the assets to look real. We can give you that. And they dialed that asset content to like 11. It really, she and her protagonist and antagonist and all of them look really, really well detailed. But then the world kind of suffers, I think, a little bit for it, just a little bit. You know, that's the only comparisons that I see so far. But again, if you like Ghost of Tsushima and you know, and you're not one of those people who didn't play the DLC and keeps going, why don't we have more with our original protagonist? If you play the DLC, you know why we don't have more content. His story ended. It is what it is. I really like the new protagonist. There was some slander being had on our Discord, which we enjoy some slander. Usually they say that when they take a visual actor and a visual model, games tend to dumb them down or make them look less attractive or something like that to make it look. I actually think they did a damn good job with her here. Like, I think she looks great. You know, she looks like the actress and she looks great. She looks badass. She kicks butt. I'm enjoying it. I will finish this game, and I'm actually looking forward to playing it on PC.
You still get to see the butt at the hot springs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let our national nightmare, you know, be avoided. You know, let everybody rejoice. When you go to the hot springs, you want to see some booty. You see some booty. Booty's on display. You know, you can go to all them hot springs as many times as you want, and the booty is always on display. It is what it is. So let us breathe. The booty is on display. Anyway, Mr. Everborn Saga, is this even on your playlist? Did you play the first one?
I did play the first one when it comes to PC, and this has not officially released yet until it comes to PC for me. So
of course,
you guys enjoy this beta test.
This man.
I'll play the real version.
And it looks like the chat's coming for you a little bit, Jesse. They say it's Gooner approved. Stop it. Stop it, Soltech. Don't do that. That's not nice. Anyway, but no, I will advocate if you like the first one, you will like this one. I actually kind of like this one a lot. Maybe it's a recency bias because I've played this game. I played the first one anyway 3 times. I played on PS4, PS5, and PC. I really, really enjoy so far what they have here. The combat is still very visceral. It's still really, really good. I've been putting a lot of time on this guy. Because, you know, like we were talking about, you don't want to put it on the big screen TV because I don't want the kids to be watching me chop heads off. So I've been using the portal. So, you know, it's good. It's good. Now on the portal, there's some latency. You know, there's been a bit of latency stuff which I have to kind of get used to a little bit. But otherwise, so far so good. I'll report back if there's more if anything changes there. But
apologize for all the moving around, but I just got a new keyboard and mouse from Turtle Beach. And as a fellow tech guy, you understand. The moment something comes in, you got to hook it up.
You got to plug it in. Absolutely. No doubt. Yeah. So, Rave Damos with a $5 super chat. He says, please add this super chat to the community Xbox to PC fund. Oh, well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. The community fund needs to grow because it seems like, I guess there's a pilgrimage afoot. Like people are leaving, or at least they're heading towards the land of PC anyway.
It's very easy to say you're doing things online. That's definitely been a theme this week of I'm doing this thing. And then you go back and you look on their post history and they're like, I've never had that thing. Like, oh yeah, you're sure you're canceling it. I'm never going to get it now. It's like you never were. But you can join the zeitgeist of feeling great about hating something.
Talk that talk.
You know, now, so any other games you want to discuss while we're in this block before we move on? Because I could tell you more about how much I'm loving Silksong because I'm going to be loving that game for a long time. I've been playing it for quite some time. I could continue talking to you about potentially how much I'm still enjoying a War for Cybertron because I decided to start playing that again, and I'm still enjoying that as well. But yes, you know, we know there's new games afoot. We want to talk about some new games. So anything particularly interesting going on any that we have not talked about game-wise yet? For you, Everborn, or just before we move forward?
There's another game that I wanted to put on people's radar, which is Toa and the Legend of something.
And the Legend of something. Is that
Guardians of Light?
something
Oh, and
like
the
that.
Yeah, I
Something
actually got that one for review, and I did not like it so much that I stopped playing after 45 minutes.
Oh,
So I only played it for a half hour. Maybe it gets to 45 minutes and I don't like it, but I felt like the combat system was interesting. It was very colorful.
Toa and the
And
Guardians of the Sacred Tree.
Oh, that was
yes,
it. Okay, yeah.
yes.
That is a game I highly recommend you play co-op, because otherwise you're
Ooh.
stuck with a computer behind you who can still take full damage, and you share a health bar.
Oh wow,
Mm.
Yeah, it's not fun.
interesting. It does have on Steam. It's like a 60%. Like so, it's very, very, very mixed, to put it lightly. But I didn't hate it, and I will say, only playing it for a half hour. I did like what it was doing more than I liked what Towerborn was doing. Felt like it was doing what I wanted Towerborn to do.
You keep referencing Towerborn.
Because
you keep
I
bringing
tried
Towerborn
it.
back.
Hold on a minute. I played Towerborn. A lot of people say it came to Steam first. It did not. It was in
No, it came to Xbox
early
first.
access on Xbox.
Oh no, Towerborn was only in Steam for the first like 6 months. It was out.
but even before that, if you were in the Insider program, you could have joined.
Oh, yeah.
the alpha, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, people felt like disrespected. Oh, it's coming to Steam first, but it didn't. You had it first on Xbox. But anyway, then I paid for the early access version on Steam, hoping that it would have addressed some of the things I was looking for. And it was they made a lot of updates, but it wasn't what I needed from it. So like, I supported the game. I paid for it on Steam. I tried it in early access, and it just never got to where I wanted it to be.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't reference it. I just find it interesting that you have referenced it now twice, and I haven't heard anyone talk about that in a while. And I actually liked that game for a while.
Early access is an albatross. Like
Mm.
there's too many games in it, and people look at it as the game has launched. And if you do a bunch of small updates, they just lose interest. That's why I think it was the Rogue Prince of Persia said they stopped doing small updates because everyone looked at them like a launch. And just a few big updates and then a surprise 1.0. And as a website, I can't cover anything that's early access anymore. There's just like 30 things a week, and then you're never going to look at them again until 1.0 anyways.
Yeah, that's what I did with No Rest for the Wicked. I bought it because I wanted to support the project. I played it the first day, and I was like, all right, now call me when you're 1.0. I'll check it out.
And they seem far off.
Yes, absolutely they do. Yep. So all right, so you recommend this, and Jesse does not.
Wait a minute. I got this from like CDPs or something like that for like $20.
Okay.
I can't remember what I paid for it. I don't know if I recommend it for 30, but I do like the art style. I do like the combat, and the combo system is pretty fun, and the art direction's like really good.
As you get a little further in, you don't get to actually play it that much. You end up having to do a lot of stuff around town and like crafting weapons and stuff. Yeah, it's one of those, there's 8 million mechanics, and doing the actual roguelite runs ends up becoming pretty pushed back early on.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I'm not getting back to this until I'm done with Shinobi. But you know.
Well, okay. So since we are talking about hidden gems, and on this show we tend to want to talk about those small little things that we play, because and that's what I've been doing for a while as well, right? Like people expect that from us. And actually recently Everborn Saga's been providing that more than me. Let's get back down to that from me as well. So the autumn sale for Steam is on right now.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten 700 emails a day about people having a game on sale in there.
There you go. As have I, you know. And unfortunately for a person who's been part of Steam for a while, once you've been part of Steam for a while, the sales lose a bit of their luster because they tend to repeat the same deals to you, right?
And a lot of times they're not as good as they were last time.
Yeah. But if you are new to the waters of PC, you're anticipating the arrival
waters of Lake Minnetonka. You got to get it right.
There you go. The PC waters of Lake Minnetonka. Yes. If you're awaiting the arrival of, say, your Xbox Ally, you're excited about it. You know, maybe you want to add new games to the repertoire, new games that you will enjoy when you get them. Between the autumn sale and I would also say Fanatical. Like I actually took a dive into Fanatical this week. Came back up with a bunch of games. So let me just like quickly shoot some of those out. Final Vendetta. Here's a quick gameplay footage of Final Vendetta. It is literally very, very Sega, very Streets of Rage-esque. They are not joking with their Streets of Rage energy. It's really fun. Got it for like, I think $4 or something like that on Steam. Really, really good. This among the entire collection, well, almost the entire collection of Yakuza. I think I paid $10 per game. Also on the Fanatical.
If you got every Yakuza game, though, that would be like $400 with all the offshoots.
No, not all the offshoots. Just the mainline Yakuza games. I wanted to get my feet wet. The man Lucius Augustus recommended that I because I don't. It's to me it's like it's a little daunting. So he told me that it'd be best to start with something like what do you call it? Judgment. So I've started it with Judgment, which I like. I also did play Like a Dragon during the beginning of the Xbox gen. Yeah. So I understand
the most different one. The one that doesn't play like any of the other ones. It doesn't
play like any of the others. That's right. So
Yakuza 0 is probably my favorite one, and you don't need the director's cut. So if you can get the original Yakuza 0. Good.
Okay. Cool. So I'm going through that, but I would advocate to people, either if you are new to PC, check out that autumn sale. If you are old to PC and you have a bunch of codes in, say, a Humble Bundle, check your Humble Bundles because they've started putting a timer on your codes you have. I have pages and pages and pages of codes.
Damn you!
Now there's time. Yes, now there's a timer on them. Last I checked, it was 100 and something days. So if you don't use them, you lose them. So
that is one of the weird things. Zip Davis owns Humble and reviews their games and reviews their games. Yeah.
Yep.
I was always weirded up by that.
Very.
Like, I fully trust IGN's editorial, Dan Stapleton, News. Congratulations on the early retirement so he can spend more time with his kids. I always trusted them. It was just a weird thing to see.
Yeah. I always thought that was very, very odd that Ziff Davis owns both Humble and IGN, and it was a whole thing. But hey, it is
almost
what it is.
Everything. There's like 4 companies that own everyone.
They own everyone.
Not
and
us too. We're independent. Damn it.
Yes, that's right. And as I've said,
it's weird as a 7 for Starfield, but we can.
Hey now.
7 for Starfield, and then spending the following year saying it's actually like a 2.
Oh man, oh man, we in for that slander today. Okay, fantastic. All right, any other games you want to discuss before we move forward?
No, man, it is 10:46. We got a 2-hour show.
All right,
let's get the ball rolling.
All right, let's get the ball rolling. Okay, well. First and foremost, before we continue, thank you all who are here, all the great repeat offenders, I call them, and the new heads that I see in our chat. Thank you also for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. Consider subscribing if you are new. We do this every week. Myself, Mr. Everbornstag, and sometimes a great guest. Thank you for being here, Jesse. As
where's the great guest?
Well done, sir. I appreciate that. But all right, let's talk about it.
We'll just do this really quick. It's a quick, stupid unboxing, but I got this early while we are waiting on the Xbox Ally, and it is
okay.
The
let's take a look
from Asus.
Wow, nice!
Got like a week early or 2 weeks early or whatever. So I said, let's unbox it here.
Kind of crazy. It doesn't come with it at that price, but
yeah, it is. Yeah, and a lot of people don't give the Steam Deck credit for that.
Well, the Steam Deck
Switch doesn't do it either.
Also came with.
Yep.
Like this came with the Legion Go.
And the Legion Go also comes with the hard case. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's better. All right.
First one wasn't bad.
This was the funny thing about this, right? This is to hold your charger or whatever, right?
Whoa, hold on. What does it say? It says this is an Xbox case.
Yes. I think they're trolling at this point, and I love it.
They've been trolling for a while.
John Wolf, that one's for you. That one's for you specifically. I think whoever did that was like, Wolf, enjoy this.
It's a decent case, but it absolutely should have come with the device. And because this was $69, not
Yeah, that's
$90.
ridiculous.
Wow.
So
I just realized it's after October 2nd, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I completely forgot to write up about this, and now I'm going to feel like an a-hole. I got this, my new favorite controller, somehow even better than the
Ooh,
other one. Scuff
Look
Valor
at that.
Pro Wireless, and I've been using it.
Very nice.
So it's, if you had the Valor Pro, this is the twice the cost wireless version. That is incredibly nice. It still has the
Let me
whole
guess, you can remove
detachable.
the faceplate. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Kind of a pain because I put the taller right stick on there in the
Yeah.
dome because you can just pull these right off. Yeah, no, this thing's probably my favorite somehow over the Victrix Pro BFG Reloaded that I had been using. But that was
told-
$210. This is $190.
I was told you're
Wow.
not allowed to call that an Xbox controller by a certain member. We won't get into that right now.
Shout out to the great Slow Max Lab. Let's go.
I didn't call any names.
Right, everyone-
Everything uses a dongle, though. These all use a dongle.
Oh, they all use dongles. That's the
Yeah.
only unfortunate part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that connect to the Xbox properly without a dongle though? Like, does it do the Xbox's?
No, everything.
Protocol?
I've only had controllers that use dongles. I've never had a third party one that doesn't.
Okay.
So
Everyone,
you can do
before-
Bluetooth and everything without it. But yeah.
Before you take that footage away, open that case one more time. Does it show like the grooves for where you'd put your the?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Let's see the groove. For those who know, they call them the love handles. Isn't that weird? Look at
The
that.
chinchos.
Fill flaps is what I heard them called.
Oh God, what are we talking about right now? This is terrible. Anyway, look at that. That's cool, man. Okay.
It should have been included.
Should have been.
So,
grand.
what we will tell you is the GCP will have more content about it, but it will come from Mr. Everborn Saga, who purchased the device because
Yeah.
I didn't.
we will do what we won't do. When is the 16th? I don't know if we
I have-
like.
I have this guy, and I'm going to continue having this guy. So I ended
That's
up not
the
purchasing
claw,
that guy.
right?
This is
That's
the MSI claw. This is
All
the
right,
And
MSI
I have no idea if we're going to get one.
Did you add grips to that?
I did. I put a. Well, not grips really. It's just so that I can have a kickstand.
I see.
That's
I
all.
see. I see.
Yeah.
That's
I
one of
just
the nice
added,
things
like,
about the Legion Go. Perfect kicks.
Yes. Like the best kickstand in the game. Like all the others are pale in
Well,
comparison.
they went all out with the Legion Go and the Legion Go 2. They just said, screw it, we're going best we can.
They're
on
going to the
everything.
PC, steel case and all this stuff. Yep. Which also
think-
equals ridiculous pricing.
What's interesting about pricing now, and there's a lot of factors, right? But I think what we've seen in this market is that the people that are interested in it, if you look at the data, we are unfortunately pay pigs. And what that means is we keep in this market, we keep buying these devices that get closer and closer to $1,000.
I'm
right?
sure I don't know what you're talking about, Everborn Saga.
I didn't
What
buy
are
any
you
of mine.
discussing?
I asked.
Oh yeah,
nicely.
well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
What are we talking
I
about?
paid with time, like insane
Yeah.
amounts of time.
And so I think that the people that have proven to be interested in PC based handhelds have also proven that they're willing to spend upwards of $600, $700, $800 by all the other people in the market. Now, you could ask, well, why not lower the barrier of entry so more people could get in? But are those more people interested in this vertical, or is this just a high end vertical, a high end niche?
Like bringing in people with lost leaders was the strategy forever, and that hit a ceiling. Like they kind of know there's going to be this many people. This is what gaming is as like a subsidized product, and as we have seen, every sector of it is now in the I must make as much money as I can from my audience part of the equation.
What do you think that'll do like for the long term of the business? I know that's what they all seem to be like focused on now, and it looks like it's having its ramifications, and what we're going to get into that writ large in a little bit. But do we see that having any kind of like side effects in the next 5 to 10 years?
I mean, it's weird. So the more like gaming is mostly mobile. The actual money made from it is mostly mobile. So as long as that keeps up, we are going to be the expensive niche where even in our niche, most of the players are casuals who do free to play, and Roblox has more players at any given moment than all of Steam. Like, it's, who do you go for? Do you go for the loud minority, which they have most of the time in the past, or do you try to serve the loud minority while really focusing growth on the casual side of things? It's a very, everyone looks at it like greed. Like, I know that was Ryan McCaffrey's take at IGN, is this will be the generation of greed. And like, man, they've always been that. This isn't different. It might be more obvious now. They might have stopped pretending that they're your friend, but they were never your friend. Some of the people might be your friend. Like, we've met people in person in the industry who are great, but their job isn't to be our friend. They might be our friend outside of their job, but their job is to make money. And like, the final goal for Microsoft as a division is 40% margins, because that's where most of the company's at. As a software company, it's a lot easier to hit. Their hardware division that was super hardware focused in Microsoft gaming has focused on hardware now, offsetting costs to OEMs in the future, and doing what they can to get as much money as humanly possible while spending as little as they can. And it just ends up going over everything, and I think people are finally realizing it. Like, this is a week where everyone just focuses on the one. But like, throughout the year, it's just been shit going up everywhere, and it's not going to stop.
There's a
Dave, real quick, with a $2 super chat, says, "Can't wait to get my new Xbox handheld. Hit the like button. I'm happy for you, sir. I want to hear a review when you get it in your hands. See how you feel about it."
Web Dave is a fellow Ragoon. I salute you, sir.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna say,
Explain.
I know a lot of us would be going for the X, but I was shocked at how good the regular Ally was when I used it at Gamescom.
See.
It ran Forza Horizon 5 like perfectly at middle settings, and I think that's one thing a lot of people keep missing is like, at the top end it's like 15-20%. Who cares? You don't run your handheld at the top end when it's not plugged into a wall. When it's in handheld, how can it do it 17 watts? And it just absolutely killed that game. It looked incredible.
I told you when I came back, and people who watch this show who are on this channel will attest. When I came back, where I saw Jessie last, that's exactly what I said. I said I am most interested in the low end because it has that bang for your buck calibrated quite well. That was, of course, before I knew it was $600. I was hoping it was $500 or $550, but that's.
I mean, in other countries, it is. It's actually, it is well. It's very well priced in the UK at £500. Like they were expecting $550 or $600. Yeah.
So, but that's where I thought it was the most interesting. I agree wholeheartedly. It is what it is. We haven't really gotten your thoughts, Jessie, and we're going to get to the price changes. That's what we're going to next. But
what happened?
Exactly. We're going to read Xbox Era and find out. I wanted to know, since the last time we spoke was at Gamescom. What do you think, sir? Like, we now know the price. You got your hands on the device. The full screen experience is now upon us. Right, a lot of people have been able to get their hands on it.
In a way,
I have been able to.
You still have Windows in the background.
Yeah, Windows. That's right. What do you think? What do you think of where we find ourselves in this price? The price of the handheld.
I'm curious. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just they gave in and went to $1,000 because next month the tariffs go to 40. Like, they're 30 now. Unless something changes, they go up to 40 next month. Like, it's an extra. Percent, it's another 33% of what you're already having to churn out, and that doesn't happen in other areas, and a lot of them have surprisingly good prices, like very competitive, because the Z2 chips are a lot more expensive to make than the Z1, and the Z2 chip with the NPU on it is even more expensive. So at some point, I'm guessing the margins are really low on the Ally X globally, and probably pretty damn low in the US. I think it was a lot of aggression from Asus. They probably worked out something with Microsoft. Like, Microsoft's definitely doing all the marketing. They still let them have the announce on pre-orders and that type of stuff. It is an Asus product, and this is the type of launch we got to get used to in the future, where Microsoft is going to have their reference hardware. They're going to have their stuff on the GPU and CPU chiplet, and then you have to hit a baseline, but as long as you do, you can then go wherever you want, and you can charge something reasonable for future Xbox hardware. And everything's a half step right now. Like we're just eking into what they're supposedly going to go for, and obviously it'll be on them to do it. And you see all the stories, they're not in Costco and all that type of stuff. It's like, because it's already up to 30%, going to go to 40%, and Costco's whole thing is being able to sell you stuff cheap. And if there's a 30 or 40% tariff on something, you shouldn't expect to see it at Costco that much unless the company selling it is willing to eat a decent amount of money. And like you don't even, Nintendo's never really been in mine. They've had a very small Sony one, and they were mostly just cards. They had the card stuff. That was about it. So it's been interesting. They're launching it in more markets than ever. It's actually in Australia this time, so I know Nick is begging for one. Nick's asking for one. John's asking for one. I have absolutely no idea if we'll be able to get one, but it'll be a lot of fun. It's the type of thing where it would be a part of our reviews pretty much forever. Like I always, whenever I have a Steam code, I use it on the Steam Deck and let people know how it runs there, and then they get mad at me because we have Xbox in the name. I'm like, it didn't stop me from playing it on Xbox. An Xbox code not existing stopped me. Like you can look it up. Like Battlefield actually has its preload up. You have to have your preload up if someone's going to be able. So if I'm able to review Battlefield, it would be on Xbox because the preload's there. But I digress. People yell at me about it. I'm like, I don't have any control.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's transition to the actual topic proper, because I think that's what people want to talk about. They're already going for it in the chat anyway.
Frothing.
And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that there's some Xbox, Game Pass prices afoot, changes to both plans and prices and all of this, and it's caused a lot of back and forth conversation in the community. I will also take this opportunity to tell you to go and read Sickamechanico's oh no, not this one, this one right here, like Sickamechanico's article on his thoughts on whether Xbox Game Pass is still the best deal in gaming.
You can click that little moon in the top right, and it goes all dark and doesn't blind people.
And it does. There's the dark version.
It works.
There you go.
And if you don't have ad blocker on, it's a hell site, and we're fixing it.
And it's a hell site, and you're fixing it. Oh, so
yeah, we're working with this, because so pretty much every time you hit enter and put a new block in, because WordPress is block based, it just throws an ad in the middle of it. So we have to try and trick it and shift enter, but anything with a list, it breaks. Whatever. It's annoying. I'm sorry.
No worries. So this time I think I'll let you go first, Mr. Everborn Saga. Price changes to the plan. I know you've seen them, right? Initially we thought there was only 3, but then they hid the PC one at the bottom. There's still a PC one somewhere.
There's still a lot of websites that think they canceled PC Game Pass.
Yeah. The PC one looked like it was gone, but now it is still there. What do you think ultimately, sir? What do you think?
There's a lot of people that aren't doing their jobs as journalists, right? So in all of this, you would think that across the board, everything went up and that they canceled PC Game Pass, where that is in fact not the case. So standard, which has now become premium, and essential, which was core, both of those actually stayed in price and got a bunch more stayed the same in price and got a bunch more features, right? You've now in standard and essential, you have access to PC and cloud where you did not before, and I think they increased the amount of games, and then you have the promise and premium for games within a year, whatever that means.
Probably first party gets in there within 12 months outside of COD, because they need COD to constantly sell.
Yes. And so it's Ultimate that has effectively gone up in price, and drastically gone up in price, because I don't think we would have seen the same backlash if they maybe went up to something like $22, $25, but they went up $30, and that's a milestone that people are going to see, right? And that is the entire that's kind of the elephant in the room that is taking up all the coverage around it, that $30 mark. but as I said, the other ones haven't changed in price. And if you're on PC, you got a small price hike, but you're still sub $20 on PC.
And they actually got the Ubisoft stuff, which they hadn't mentioned was going to happen. Because I know some people who are PC only and they have access to Ubisoft Classics.
Yeah,
I do. Okay.
So here, this is. I think they rolled this out like haphazardly as they usually do, and I think something like this would have been better in 2 stages. But I just want to list some games that have released this year and are on the verge of releasing before the end of the year. And we started out with Ninja Gaiden 2, the remake. That shadow dropped in January. Then in February, we had Avowed. In April, we got South of Midnight, Oblivion remake, and Expedition 33. Then we went on to Tony Hawk, and then Gears Reloaded, followed by Silk Song. And in May, we had Doom: The Dark Ages. I forgot that in May. And then we're getting ready to come up on Keeper, Ninja Gaiden 4, Call of Duty, and Outer Worlds 2, right? I understand if you're not interested in the majority of those games, it's not worth it to you individually. But I don't think it's not worth it at all, or it's still not a great deal. Nobody likes price increases, and I support anybody that gives them the smoke, because if this just goes over easy, then they won't hesitate before raising the price again, right? So write all the articles, do all the petitions, cancel your subscription if that's too much for you. Personally, if you'd been listening to Everborn Saga, you would have stacked, and you would have double
dipping for a long time already. But that's neither here nor there.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So again, I get it that $30 is too much, especially if you're not interested in all those games. But I just stopped short of saying it's automatically not worth it anymore, because what is also funny is the people that were telling us that value is subjective now don't see a world where people could still see value in Game Pass, which again, hilarious. Now that's this year, but next year, and we do need to hold them accountable to what their release schedule says. But as far as what they've projected so far, we've got Gears E-Day, Forza 6, Fable, potentially a Halo remake, potentially Clockwork Revolution, potentially State of Decay 3. And that's just from XGS. That's before we get to anything from Bethesda or Activision. And before, they're also promising 75 games. Now, again, we got to count those games. We got to see what those games are. But from all the indie devs I've been talking to, they say the Game Pass money has kind of dried up, unless you're like highly notable. So where are those deals going for them to get 75 games in there, right?
I don't know if it's people will say dried up, but it's more they have such an enormous backlog that if your game's close, they're full. Like they've got such a release cadence already built up that, because like even this year they've never had more than 60 day ones in a year, and when they had those 60, they were mostly very small. Like this year, I think everyone would say has been their best year, and they're going to end in the low 50s most likely. So jumping up to 75 plus is a very large
big
jump.
Deal.
And they doubled down on it in an interview with Tom Warren. Again, the guy stating clearly, 75. We're gonna have over 75 day one games next year. It's like, okay.
What I think would have been a better way to roll this out is to include a new tier. Like maybe you rename Ultimate or whatever, and then include a new tier. Because if I don't care about Ubisoft and Fortnite, and the Fortnite one is interesting, because if you're such a tryhard in Fortnite, right, that you play it so much that you want a subscription, you probably aren't playing many other games. So Game Pass doesn't seem like it'll be worth a lot to you, to my mind. So, but we're saying that this is a benefit of what you're getting for that extra $10 a month. And I just think that if that was such a benefit, you should have made it another tier and people could opt into that tier.
I mean, I will push back quickly and say when this news came out, the likes of BV, Black Viking, you know the man BV, a great member of our community in our Discord, likened it to the Riot Games offerings that they do, right? And if you're not a Riot Games person, them having that available has never done much for you. But as he is a big Riot Games gamer, like it's a huge benefit, thousands of dollars that you save on that, and that alone is worth it to him to continue to keep subscribed because he's a big Riot Games gamer. And even if he never plays any of the other games, this is from him. If he never plays any of the other games, just having that subscription makes his game far more cost effective to play because of that offering. So similarly, for those who play Fortnite, you know,
and I don't think the price went up because of Fortnite or Ubisoft. We're going up to 30. What can we get done to add value for people?
Yeah, when I first heard about it, like before I read the details, I thought they were adding like Ubisoft Plus, where you were going to get the day one Ubisoft games as well. And in that case, I was like, okay,
let's
$30
do it.
is a worthy trade-off. Then I heard it was Ubisoft Classics, which is already on PlayStation Plus. Can
I pose a theory as to why I think the price is increasing? And shout out to Hargeet. I would say I heard him talk about this as well, and I would agree with him on that, which is that he surmises that and I agree with him. Like we've been hearing complaints for a long time how xCloud is not as good as the best one is out there, right? Oh, GeForce Now is the best out there. xCloud is not as good as GeForce Now. Why? Because it's a console in the cloud versus server blades in the cloud, right? So what are they doing now? You've heard what happened. They're now moving to server blades as well, and every service here has cloud access. How do you think you're paying for it? Cloud access and server blades aren't cheap. As a person who contends with the cloud in other ways for my normal daily work, these server blades are set up in a way that means they're always maximizing the most use case and profit. So if you customer aren't using it, some other customer is using it, and another customer is using it. So during that hour of use, you could always account for how much money is being made by this workload. So if they're now moving their games to these same servers, they know how much money they're losing by letting you play it versus it being used by some other customer. So that cost has to come from somewhere. And that's why everyone's paying for it.
So another thing that I just read from the $30 price tag, and again, I just think the reporting on this has left out a lot of context, is the message that I get from Microsoft on this is, we want you on PC, right?
Sure.
If you are only on console and you want day one games, you got to pay $30 a month. But if you go to PC, and remember, we're releasing a handheld PC, like you got to pay $30 versus paying what is it, $16 or $17?
Question about the PC, and I don't know if Jesse or everyone you have answers for this. I understand what the offerings are in the three standard offerings. What does PC, which is off to the side, offer that's different? Because I've heard console gamers complain a bit that PCs are still kind of getting the best deal. Are they getting all the games day one as well on PC?
Yeah.
Yep.
Including COD?
Yes. Yep. PC hasn't changed. Like, PC is what PC was. It just went from $12 to $16.49 a month.
Which again,
and shout out to the great Paris Lily. He's in the chat and he says Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is going up because of Call of Duty. If it was cloud, you couldn't add it to the lower tier and it would not increase and not increase the price. Yeah, that is a point. That is a point. So Bloomberg did do a really interesting write-up on it, saying that Call of Duty lost 300 million.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
We get into that one because that single anonymous source articles for their big stat are not.
It's always
Schreier reporting. It is not.
Yes.
Yeah, because okay, we'll just come to that in 1 second. But what I'm saying is the pricing structure tells me they're like, if you want to stay on, we want you to go to PC. If you want to stay on console, that's fine. We're going to charge you
You're
more.
gonna pay for it. Yeah.
Right. And
Yep.
shout out to Slow Mo Backslap. He called it the mean boyfriend syndrome, where like he wants his partner to break up with him, so he just treats them terribly, and if they stay, they stay. They won't want to break up. And so, you know, if just Game Pass for PC is still the best deal in gaming. But even at $30, let me ask you a genuine question. I want to ask a genuine
question. They are also launching a subscription-free, an ad supported tier.
They're internally testing and close to announcing, according to Tom Warren.
I don't see anything wrong with that. It's free. You get what you pay for.
And it's very limited.
Service,
you get 1 hour at a time, up to 5 months right now, up to 5 hours
basically
a month.
Basically, like, the same thing GeForce offers, right?
Yeah, it's like free a trial to try and get you to pay.
Limited trial. Yeah.
Okay. I don't care about that. Whatever.
You watch 2 minutes of ads and then you go.
Yeah. You don't want to watch the ads, you pay. That's what I do on YouTube.
Pay for it. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that it is not for any individual to say what someone sees value in, especially not the people who was arguing in favor of $70 games. But I just don't even care what they have to say. But to Xbox people who are already subscribed, the thing is this: the price since 2023, when the Activision deal closed, and we can talk about that Lena Khan statement, which is rewriting history, if you like. But the price has doubled since then, because this is not the first increase. It was $14.99, it went up to $20, now it's up to $30. But I would argue, if we look at late 2023, when that deal closed, versus today, you're getting more than double the output, and high quality output at that. Now, if you don't see the value and you didn't stack like Everborn, then you know I totally understand it. Every time Netflix raises prices.
By the way, Everborn, when are you next officially supposed to pay? How far are you stacked to?
Right now it's April 2028, and I've never paid more than $10 a month for that service. And I'll get another 3 months in 2 weeks when the Ally.
Okay, I've got a secret for you. Since you have a YouTube channel, you go to keymailer.co, you type in PC Game Pass, and they'll give you a month free every month. You just have to put a hashtag into some of your videos, and when you talk about Game Pass stuff. So I haven't paid for it, but I'm good through next July. From whenever you get an Xbox or whenever you get a Windows device and you log in, you like for review and you log into it, it just gives you 3 months. Right? And if you don't have all that, you can still go on like Amazon and them until they run out of the $20 cards.
More codes. Yeah.
So you know, the price increase, any price increase sucks, and everybody should make their voice heard, because again, don't think they're above raising the price again, and they need to feel some kind of pain. So I do support anybody who says I'm unsubscribing to this, right? And I do support anybody writing articles about how this is not cool, just because they should feel it. But it doesn't really affect me, and I think if you take a 30,000 foot view for what is on offer today versus what was on offer when it was $20 or $15,
it's still a good value. I don't disagree. It's still a good value, right? The only thing, so for me, the part that's disappointing for me, and I think some people have heard me say this before, the part that's disappointing for me is usually this is a known commodity, right? When we're talking about a subscription service, it's a known commodity, right? They always raise the price. That's just what they do. But historically, they raise the price in a more consumer focused kind of way, right? It's the idea of the frog in the boiling pot. You turn it up little by little by little. Remember where Netflix used to be compared to where Netflix is today, right? I feel like them just out and out just going 50% on Ultimate is kind of disrespecting their consumer base. They're kind of going, what are you going to do about it? You know, and I
mean, they say it at the
little,
end of the trailer. This is how we game now. I'm like, damn.
Right? Like it's just a little. I thought it was a little. And again, to all the points you're making, I don't disagree. I still think it's a very valuable thing. I still think it's great, especially if you are a hardcore gamer. I would say that this is more now a service for a hardcore gamer than a casual, because it costs the amount of games you have to play to equal the savings is a bit higher now than what it used to be. Before, you could just dip in and out and not really care because it was very cheap relatively. Now it's $360 or something like that. So you have to be able to account for monthly. How many games, right? How many games did you play last year? Does it equal $360 that you would have played where the benefit would work out for you? You know what I mean?
Or also, does it equal 240 because you need at least $10 for online play?
For online play, exactly.
And this was always it's always been a hardcore subscription. If you know the price has gone up, you're not casual. Like most people, some people might have it just because they were doing the cloud. Like there might be a small subset of people who are doing that, but pretty much anyone who's a part of this conversation is a hardcore player. Is it giving you things that you think are worth having every month? But also, if you're in that bubble, then you probably have stacked quite a bit, or you do rewards. I think that it's matured to the point where they are cutting off the ways to make it cheap. They want, there's no way to get cheap Netflix. You just pay Netflix every month. Or you're paying your phone and you buy it through something else with a slight discount maybe. But they are at the point where it's $30 a month and they want that. And I know Jez talked about it a lot and he's got sources and all that. So I trust him nearly implicitly. Because I don't know who the sources are, so it can't be 100%. But it's pretty much the best thing about Game Pass is how it keeps funding so much third-party stuff. And it was becoming in danger of if you're on Xbox and you just get Game Pass mainly to just play Call of Duty and then you don't really touch anything else. And it sucks for people who aren't into Call of Duty because it very much means that the last two price increases were really driven by Call of Duty being in the service.
Call of Duty,
And it is telling that the $30 tier is the only tier that includes day one Call of Duty.
Or even day 365 Call of Duty. Because Call of Duty's biggest strength is that it just sells forever. And that's one of the weird. So maybe the 300 million lost is that they are not getting sales on the Call of Duties that they put into Game Pass.
Well, this is the other thing. I do want to talk about that because I see this going around, and what happens so much in the discourse is when people have a preconceived notion, they read a headline, or most of the time it's just a headline, or they read an article, and then they don't apply any critical thinking, or they don't apply the same level of critical thinking that they do when it's something that their gut tells them otherwise for, right? So there's no them losing 300 million is effectively a useless statement, right? 300 million on what? Because the very next piece of news that we've got is that 82% of, or whatever it was, of console sales were on PlayStation.
And that's not new. That article's weird because that article is mostly just quoting old IGN and old Circana reports. The only new thing I saw in it was the 300 million loss, but also they admit it was the most monetarily successful Call of Duty ever.
Right. And it does not account for how much more they made in Game Pass, which currently they say they pulled in $5 billion, which is the most Game Pass has ever pulled in a calendar year.
Yeah, and it was Chris Charla who just said that we're putting more money into Game Pass than ever at ID and Xbox and that type of stuff.
And the whole point is, if you are a Game Pass subscriber and you used to have to pay for Game Pass and then buy Call of Duty every year, the whole point was you wouldn't have to. So that's a sale that's lost, obviously. And I can't remember who made this quote, but they said, yes, it cannibalizes individual a la carte sales, but it does not cannibalize commerce. Right. And so sure, you take a loss because Game Pass is a loss leader product. You take a loss on the upfront sale in hopes of a subscription. That was the point. So the 300 million, sure, but what was it offset by?
Yeah,
right.
They talk about it like there's a hole, and that's all there is to it, and there was no offset at all. It's like talking about reporting. It's like talking about going into it's like saying movies now are being showed at the home, on Netflix, right? And because of that, movies are losing a bunch of money. Okay, but how much is it now making because of Netflix, right? Where's the offset? Right? They don't talk about that offset at all, So it just makes it seem like, oh, there's a big hole in the market now. No, there isn't. Clearly, they're making it up somewhere else, and there should be more research paid to that side of the house to see if it's actually advantageous for them.
It's a very different industry and has been for years, but it's still covered like it used to be. Like it is not an industry based around hardware sales are king, software sales are king. Like we're very much and people always say, oh, the best value in gaming is actually Steam now. And it's like, yeah, but if you're waiting for 60% off sales to buy anything, then those games won't get made anymore if everyone starts doing that. Like you're taking advantage of the fact that a game didn't get your full price. Like the main focus, and we saw it in the Insomniac leak, where they're like, how can we get more money out of this $300 million plus Spider-Man 3 game? Maybe we'll cut it in half and sell both halves for 80. Like those are always the discussions that are going on because they need you to actually spend the full thing. And that's the case with Game Pass. They want you to actually just set it for the monthly thing and leave it and forget it. And if Game Pass Ultimate isn't for you, like it isn't for everyone and it never has been, like you have premium if you don't have FOMO and you'll get everything else. And hey, if you want to buy COD, oh no, you're spending the $70 and they're like, yes, we got 70 instead of it just being another sub. Or you do the upgrade to $30 and then you've got the stuff.
I did see a lot of people that were like, we had this thing we call Xbox derangement syndrome, where like you hear the term Xbox and you kind of just stop.
And all of a sudden you lose your mind.
Right? You had a lot of people was like, oh my God, I'm leaving Xbox and now I'm going to go buy this Xbox game on PlayStation. That'll show Xbox. I'm like, oh, okay, John.
Okay. Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Xbox is the one where, like, when you want to score some brownie points on a forum or on social media, you announce very clearly that you're doing something that you don't have to prove. Like, you can just say, I'm canceling this right now, and I'm never going to have it again. And you put a screenshot up because you canceled the recurring. And then after you do put that screenshot up, you just go right back and turn it back on. Because it doesn't matter. No one knows. It's just so much of the discourse, and it comes from both in the industry and people outside of it that listen to them. It's not the virtue signaling thing, but it's really close. Like it sometimes, and it kills actual good critical thinking discussions where you can go back and forth. And it's like there are games where Game Pass makes a ton of sense for a third party to try and get a deal. There are games that don't, and that's always been the case. And that's like I think they've been incredibly good in the last few years at selecting third parties to go into it. Obviously, it's very different math for first parties, but for third parties, and I keep seeing people saying they got to add even more to it. And I'm like, man, if you are into a wide variety of games and nibbling here and there, and then really diving into the ones that catch you, it's never been better. And they're promising to have even more next year, and it's all on them keeping that up. But like, I think Jez talked about the quarter that had Expedition 33, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Doom the Dark Ages, and a ton of other great games. They saw a big jump, and they're like, okay, what will it take to fund having that type of quarter every quarter? And it was $30 a month. Like there's just multiple reasons why it ended up being such a big jump, with them also adding, how can we make Ultimate even better? Well, we're going to have just even more, like, this is the day one pass thing. We're going to inundate you with choice because we know of these 50 games, maybe only 2 of them really spoke to you. So it's just not worth it for you. But if there's 75 or 80 or 90, there's got to be enough for it to be like, okay, yeah, no, this was definitely worth it for me this year. So it's just, it's a new approach.
Netflix and Disney Plus don't expect you to watch every piece of content they release. They just want to have enough there so that
flooding the zone and hope that one will catch your interest. Absolutely.
Yeah, but to the point earlier, I was going to say, Jesse, when people do the performative cancellations and things like that, what the kids call that is clout chasing.
Like Nick.
Like Nick, he says. Paris is here. He's in the chat, and he posts that for him, Game Pass still has values for some, and for others, they are priced out. Either way, the mean comments to yourself, you had no idea what someone's situation might be. Yes, absolutely. And that's why I personally think it's a useful conversation to have, because even though I still agree that I would still contend that it is still a very valuable sense in gaming, this move is pricing some people out, right? And it will move people either from the higher rung to a lower rung, or they may not even be about it at all anymore, which is unfortunate, right? And as everyone has said, just because it's still valuable doesn't mean that your smoke is not righteous. You should be able to speak on the fact that, hey, they're digging more holes in your pocket and expecting you to be okay with it. But it is what it is. Let's catch up on a couple of these super chats before we move on to the next one here. Pioneer with a $10 super chat. He says, not everyone can afford the extra $10 a month, but for what Game Pass is giving me for $30 is more games I can play, and we know that Game Pass is quality. 75 games as a gamer, I'm good. So there you go. Right?
That also may not be true for someone else. You really have to look what's on offer, and I think that if for the people that decide to stay subscribed, and again, I don't know why you didn't stack, but you should stack. Too
late now,
price, but I mean,
it's hard to stack now.
Cars out there, but again, there's a reason it's called show business instead of show friends, right? And the people that stay subscribed, I think, should be keeping their feet to the fire. So if they say this is the release schedule for 2026, they better hit those things, and they better hit at quality, because now you're actually charging people.
Expectations are higher.
And listen, they cost more than Netflix now.
Yeah,
that's not nothing.
That's
and
definitely
Netflix
not
is already
nothing.
overpriced.
Yep. The Black Viking, the great BV with a $2 super chat. He says, all my friends get a discount. No coupon from us. Jesus. If you know, you know. Join the Discord. Shout out to BV. Erodimus, here for the $5 super chat. He says, oh, wow. I didn't know $10 extra would make it from eating at the soup kitchen to eating to Morton's Steakhouse. Jeez. Y'all are going a little hard today.
It's one of those things where it's like, it just sucks. 50% is a huge increase. But also, if I want to take my wife and kid out for dinner, even at freaking McDonald's, we're spending $35 without even like 3 combo meals alone would be that. It's everything sucks. And having this happen just adds on to the suckiness, which I think is a part of making people angry, because they're going to have their financials at the end of October, and they're going to have made more money than ever in every division.
Oh, yeah.
And, that'll make people double angry.
Yep. Pioneer with another $10 super chat. Shout out to you for being here and all your generosity. He says, the only thing I can be upset at Game Pass about is that the games is the games it's going to give me within the next year, and I won't be able to play, and then I have the next year to worry about 2027. Yeah, it's all about the games that they're offering you, and is it valuable for you? For me, it's still kind of valuable. It kind of is, because we buy a lot of these games.
Yeah, I recommend, if you haven't already, make plans.
Start finding them stacking.
PC.
Yes.
Because again, if you're on PC, you don't need Ultimate, and it is $16 a month for all.
But you do realize they move everybody to PC, and then they start increasing PC prices, which inevitably will happen.
Yeah, sure, but you got to go in the interim, right? Stack the PC stuff, right?
Yeah,
You just
that's
you
true.
can,
That's
so
Lucius Augustus, $5 super chat. He says COD lost 300 million, but they ignored that people like me would have never bought COD. It honestly makes no sense numerically. There you go.
just not to break protocol, but Paris said I'd rather have an ad tier than a Game Pass 30. Well, guess what, Paris? You're getting both. Whether you like it or not. All right, please continue.
Daddy Passion Official, $2 super chat. He says, I hate that people still offend greedy corpos.
Defend greedy corpos.
Defend, my bad. Greedy corpos. I don't think this is a defense kind of thing. It's more of a, times are hard.
There are people that do.
People want to understand it. Well,
yeah, so
sure,
so it's not like the people like us. It's the people on the Discords, on the forums, especially on Twitter, which isn't a real place, and you're mostly just talking to bots. There's no point on being there. It's well over 80% bot traffic now. Like they are greedy because that is the entire economic system. They're supposed.
That's
to
the
be
business
greedy.
model. Yeah,
you have to be greedy for the present. You have to be greedy for the near future, and you have to be greedy for the far future. Like that is how capitalism works. In general,
that's how business is. Business is not person.
I mean, unless you're not going to be publicly traded anymore, like a certain EA.
Yeah.
So we'll come to that in a second. But one thing I want to point out, and shout out to John Wolf if he's still.
Paris says, "I'm not getting both." No, I'm not. No, sir, I don't think I am.
So something that John Wolf said in the Discord was that the trouble and the backlash you're seeing now is because for many years Xbox has positioned themselves as a value brand, and now they're trying to tell you that Game Pass is a premium service that you should pay a lot for. And so if you kind of mentally train people to think about things in one way, then you're going to get backlash when you tell them, when you try to do this transition, right? So they've between the Xbox Ally and its prices, and between these price increases, and between them trying to charge $80 for Outer Worlds of all games, which, my God, you could have started with Call of Duty. They're not going for the they don't want to be viewed as the value brand anymore. And you're just going to get pushback from that because you positioned yourself as the value brand, and now a lot of people that kind of defended them, they have egg on their face. But it wouldn't be the first time in the gaming industry, so
Everborn, why don't you read this one since it's directed towards you?
All right, it's definitely in color. All right, so at Everborn with an E at the end for some reason. Yes, people can buy Xbox games on PlayStation. Yes, Xbox will net 70% of sales, but those people will be on Sony's ecosystem where Sony gets 30% of everything they buy. Here's the thing about that, right? Like, I would say 4 words to you, and that's 6 out of 10. And I'm sure you'll understand the context there. When you could buy a game on PlayStation, but if Xbox has so many games coming out that they are dominating those PlayStation charts, the thing is this: the biggest loss leader in the console space is making the hardware, right? And getting people to come to your hardware and make you choose their box as your primary box where you buy all those other games is extremely difficult. And I would wager that it costs more to get you to buy a console than the 30% that they'll lose from PlayStation, while still being able to get access to that audience. And it's just it just is what it is, right? You can go the Nintendo route, but if you're not going to build a time machine, that's going to take you to better part of a decade and countless billions of dollars in lost revenue, right? From trying to drive people to your platform. Microsoft saw this with Office. They tried to keep it, to Windows and Windows Phone, and they realized, why do that? Take the 30% hit, but you'll have access to enough people to make that up.
Big
So if
Mad
you
Mo.
think of everything as a zero-sum game, that is the way you'll see that loss of 30%. But it's not a zero-sum game. But go ahead. Sorry.
Big Mad Mo, who's been a member for 20 months, he says, my thing is, yes, $30 is nothing to sneeze at, but as a consumer in trying to find the cheapest way to play the highest tier, all you have to, I guess he didn't finish. Please finish your thought.
My thing is $30 is nothing to sneeze at, but as a consumer in trying to find the cheapest way to play at the highest tier, all you he has to finish his thought. All you have to do is something.
Yes. And Big Mamo, you don't have to put that in color. Just finish your thought. I'll see what you had to say there, and I'll finish your thought for you. Pioneer, $5 super chat. He says, I just wanted to add that I now understand the worry of developers have not to go on Game Pass. I think their worry is a bit more compounded and a bit more complex than just
They mostly just really want to be in Game Pass because it gives you a ton of money.
Yeah. I think. Well, first of all, like, I feel like when we're talking about developers and who don't want to be in Game Pass, we're really talking about the executives that want the sports cards, because a lot of the developers are just salaried workers, and whether they're in Game Pass or not, they got paid, especially if they're contractors. But yeah, we can have that discussion. And again, if you want to support the devs and you think Game Pass hurts, then maybe the price should go higher if that's what you want.
Paris, and I wanted to highlight this. He says, exactly, Everborn, you sold Game Pass on value, so of course there will be pushback when you pivot to being a premium service. Exactly, 100%.
I mean, it's the same pushback that when they sold us on exclusives, and then they changed their mind.
And we will move on.
The value push for them are trying to make the other tiers actually have a point.
Yeah, but most notably, they don't have the defining feature of Game Pass. Those other tiers.
The defining feature for us, I think, which is we want the things right away, whereas they are going to push, if you don't have that FOMO, if you're not the hardest of hardcore that loves to graze and play everything right when it's brand new, you just do the 15 a month and the stuff is in there and you've got your backlog anyway. So we'll see how it ends up going.
So from that perspective, right, and really think about this, there are a lot of people that thought Game Pass wasn't sustainable. And they thought that they've literally said they prefer PlayStation's models where they'll pay PlayStation a monthly fee and they'll get whatever game Sony decides to give them, right? There's no guarantee on first party. And so if the main tiers are now on par with what PlayStation is doing, and you have this new like egregiously it's not egregious, but just go with me here. You got this new egregiously priced, premium priced service that includes day one for $30. Shouldn't they be happy with that? Because now the main tiers, premium and essential, operate just like PlayStation. And the one that doesn't costs a lot of money to recoup the cost. So what is for those people to be mad about? And I think it's nothing. That's why I'm really only concerned with what Xbox people have to say about this, because they're the ones actually using the service.
I'm gonna put Slow-Mo Backslap's tweet on display, but I won't read it because reasons.
It's a
I'm sorry. It's a comment. The comment. Forgive me. I'll put it on display, but I won't read it because obvious reasons, and then we'll move swiftly along. Because
the people who defend this have knee pads on auto buy for every 3 weeks through Amazon.
There you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate the voice calibration.
I know who said that.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know where that came from.
Hold on. Slow-Mo has a slow.
Go ahead.
Everborn told me if Sonic was in Game Pass, even at $50 is worth it. I said it and I meant it. I said what I said.
So this is all your fault, what you're saying. You're just going to add it to Game Pass and they're going to charge $50 and we're just going to keep it moving. It's going to be all your fault.
Sonic's never play anywhere, sadly, and never been in Game Pass. This Team Sonic's very
specific with
they're off. They're not seemingly run by the rest of like they have their own PR and everything.
So before we move on, because I think I want to touch on a few more stories, a couple of stories before we hit our 2-hour mark.
I do want to talk about the Lena Khan thing.
Okay, but let me quickly close out our we had a poll going. 130 some odd folks took part in the poll. If you want to be part of it, hit your choice right before I hit cancel right now. And the question was, Game Pass Ultimate, is it still valuable to you? And 53% of the audience, obviously at the $30 a month price point, 53% of our audience said yes. 27% of our audience said no. 9% of the audience said they canceled it. And 10% of the audience said they never subscribed in the first place. Thank you for making your voice heard. It is what it is. All right. You were going to say about Lena Khan's comment, sir, before we move on.
Can you bring it up? Because I want to quote it exactly.
Lena Khan.
Let me find Lena Khan.
She's very Resetera, where she was on the right side, but somehow got the entire argument wrong.
Yeah.
But now it's revisionist history week, so people are like, yeah she was right about these, even though they were never arguing that in court.
Yeah, she's taking a victory lap on a case on an argument she didn't make. She could have made that argument. She should have made that argument.
But it also wasn't. It wasn't. They weren't going to win legally with that argument because you still can't prove that prices have gone up because of this.
No. So basically, she said, "I told you so,"
but she didn't. She didn't tell us so.
This is what she said here. Let me see if I can find a tweet exactly as it is. There you go.
All right. So it says Microsoft's acquisition of Activision has been followed by significant price hikes and layoffs, harming both gamers and developers. I would also like to point out that Sony has also increased their subscription prices. They've also shuttered the studios behind Concord and some of the mobile studios. And they've also canceled a bunch of games. And prices have been going up across the board, right? Nothing to do with this deal, but let's keep going. As we've seen across sectors, increasing market consolidation increases prices, and increased prices often go hand in hand. As dominant firms become too big to care, they can make things worse for the consumers without having to worry about the consequences. Now, we just had an article that said they lost 300 billion, right?
Mm-hmm.
We also have seen them sort of bow out of competing with PlayStation. No one considers them the dominant force in this industry, and you did not argue almost any of that. And you didn't push back the way you did when you took Jim Ryan's word at face value. A clearly interested player in the market who had their own agendas, who happened to be the market leader. You wrapped your entire case around protecting the market incumbent, and that is why you lost that deal. That is why the deal was not blocked, because you had a terrible case. Right. And and we know how wrong-headed that case was, because it was entirely hinged on Microsoft making ABK content exclusive, which exactly the opposite has happened, to the point where people would say it has detrimented Microsoft's own brand. But we can leave all that out and just say, try to take a victory lap on a thing that's happening industry-wide. Let's forget about tariffs. Let's forget about the post-COVID correction. Let's forget about all the overhiring and overinvestment that happened during COVID. And again, your gut instinct can be right, but we can't go by subtext. We have to go by the text. And what you argued in court, what the FTC argued in court, is why that deal was passed. And they have not proven that. Let me ask you a question. Has Nintendo been hurt by this with the Switch 2?
Doubtful.
Right? Has Sony been hurt? Last
Yeah,
time
well,
he's getting more games than ever.
yeah, they've been actually saved with all of this stuff. Yes, right.
So what exactly are we talking about in terms of harm?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Their main arguments.
Where was the consumer advocacy at that? Because you know what could have happened? You lost the case, so you got nothing. What you could have done is put out stipulations on the deal that had protections for consumers, but you didn't do that.
The CMA tried it, and they actually made it way worse for everybody. With the
Sure,
cloud.
but the point is,
but yeah, like they were pushing. Remember the guy yelling, "Can you state right now that Diablo will stay multi-platform or some dumb shit?" And it's like that was what they went for instead of, "Will you guarantee prices don't go up for 3 years or 5 years or something like that?" Like,
yeah,
they
but
didn't actually
even then,
ever push.
I don't know that they could have agreed with that. Because
No.
everyone's prices have gone up. It's just we're dealing with, and again, this is not to excuse it, but the question, what we're talking about, is how do you argue this, right?
Well, it's not even that they successfully could have argued it, but to come back now and be all hindsight and take a victory lap, it's in poor taste, because clearly we can pick apart the fact that you had nothing to do with this and you were not right here.
It was a good time for the FTC overall in trying to actually fight. Like we were really close to having a one-click unsubscribe button for everything. Like they were really close to doing that before she got kicked out. But on this one, it was arguments from people who did not understand the industry at all. So even instead of actually fighting for consumers, they just went to the competition and said, "Holy shit, what can you tell us?" And it was, "They're going to keep Call of Duty away, and I don't want that." And the reality was, Microsoft was like, "No, doing a deal this big, we're going more places. People will get more stuff." And the judge
is that
was
your
actually
Jim
like,
Ryan impression, sir?
I thought it was
good Jim Ryan
amazing,
impression.
by the way.
That was
Thank
a
you.
good Jim Ryan impression.
"I wish women would behave like my dogs."
Wow, damn. He did say that, actually.
Yeah.
That's an actual.
Yeah, I wasn't making anything up.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he said that.
I didn't know
It's
that.
wild.
But yeah, I just like people coming back with "she was right" or "we owe her an apology." No, we don't.
No.
You didn't argue the case, and you argued in favor of the incumbents. You did not say anything in your case. And guess what? We actually listened to this case because it was publicly.
Oh yeah,
streamed.
yeah. We were listening to
That
it. We were
wasn't
watching it.
your
The whole
argument.
thing.
It was like my biggest streams ever was just sitting there, and I got a text to
listening in.
speech because you weren't allowed to redo the audio, but I got a text to speech just giving it. But then the audio was shit, so I'd have to just say what it was anyways. But it was embarrassing because obviously super mega corporations spending insane amounts of money on people who knew the business inside and out as they learned it for their employer versus very underfunded civil workers who had no clue what they were talking about. And while they were on the right side, that they need to push back against mergers like this, this also wasn't like Activision and Bethesda and Bungie and so many others that have been bought were bought because they were it was rough and things aren't going great. And when that happens and you get bought by someone, they are going to fire a bunch of people. Especially because Activision almost doubled in size during it, and going off now saying, "Oh, prices are up because of this." It's like, maybe, but we definitely know prices are up because of the economy and because of the tariff situation. Like, there's so much more to it that you can't just say, "Ha, told you so," and you're actually right. You were on the right side. Trying to limit consolidation is good. This wasn't a case yet you ever had a chance to win. So I understand the wanting to look like you're putting up a fight, but for anyone that actually cares about the industry, you put up a terrible fight and you don't get to then come back later. But it's very much revisionist history week where Xbox is both tiny and useless and also world dominating and evil, and the reality of what their actual strategy is. And no one who hates them seems to ever really pick up on it, is they want to become too important on everyone's store. They want to be too important on Sony's. They want to be too important on Nintendo's. They want to be too important on Steam so that they can constantly influence and control and make more and more money and get better deals over the very long term. Like they want to be everywhere, and they want to have everyone. Don't take a cut at all. You can all come on the Xbox store, and then your app is there, and you can load your launcher, and people can buy your stuff on our hardware. We don't care. I mean, we're always going to put our stuff first because it's just there by default, and we know 95% of people just use the default platform. Like, you can sideload on Android right now, but no one does it. Well, for a few more months. Like the actual insidious corporate plan is
tyranny
there
of
and
the
very
default
obvious.
is what I
Yep.
call it.
Yep.
And people ignore it.
Yeah, and
So guys, we have 10 minutes left before we
Two
hit
more
our
hours.
12 mark. 2 hours. I wanted to end this with a fun one, but before we end it with the fun one, which is a small thing, we can't leave here with at least not talking about how EA has been taken over by the Saudi investment group.
well, it hasn't happened yet. I think the deal's going
Well,
to take
it
about a
looks like
year
it.
to close.
Yeah. But that also has pretty big ramifications as to what EA and all of that will look like after the fact.
I think the biggest the worst part of it, outside of it being Saudi government and Jared Kushner as your owners, not great, is they saddled EA with $20 billion in debt, which is what happened to Warner Brothers, which they've never really recovered from. Warner Brothers makes money, they're fine, but gets saddled with AT&T debt that has killed them ever since. And now there's $20 billion leveraged against it, and the only way they're going to make that back is they're going to sell off studios, they're going to fire people. That's the only, because having to make all of that back as a company that you didn't make that debt, but now you owe it.
Are you thinking that will also? So a lot of people were asking, and this will be for you, everyone. A lot of people were asking, hey, with them changing and them going private, will this change how they move now? Because historically they've moved in a very corpo way and money first, loot boxes and the like and all that. Will this change that trajectory? But as Jesse's pointing out now, they have $20 billion saddled on them. I doubt this changes anything because they still need to make their money back from the $20 billion. What do you think?
Well, so it all depends on what the intentions are of the people who are the money people behind this thing, right? Like, if the intention is like what I like to call the Mitt Romney special, where we can buy you up, split you up, sell you for parts,
and then send you.
We paid for you. That's why you lost Toys R Us, folks. I'm not joking. Look it up. It's the Mitt
This
Romney
is the second week he's saying this. He has an axe to grind.
No, because listen, it used to be one of my favorite things as a child.
Me too.
To
walking through Toys R Us.
So it's like, why is Kentucky Fried Chicken so bad now? Because they got bought out by private investors who were just using it to dump debt.
I would argue that they were always bad, but
it depends on your local one. We had a good one here.
But my first son, I got to share that experience with him, taking him there, seeing the wonder in his eyes. But I got younger kids now that they don't know what Toys R Us is.
Flip through an Amazon book. There aren't any physical copies. You got to go online. Click.
But anyway, so it could be that, or it could be that on the what is it? PIF, Public Investment
Saudi
Fund?
Public Investment Fund. Yeah.
It could be that it's
a terrible acronym. I'm sorry.
that they did with these wrestling fights where they just wanted to. There was someone who was a genuine fan, and they brought people out of retirement, and the money doesn't mean anything.
Just to help. Yeah.
They just did it with the Riyadh Comedy Festival with Dave Chappelle and all them just selling their souls.
Right. And so the question is, are these people that actually just have more money than anything, and they care about like putting out, like EA putting out great products, or is it just a money play and they're buying influence in the region, and they're trying to diversify from oil? I don't know yet. This thing is too early.
Hollywood Rules agrees with you with a $2 super chat. He says, "Love taking my kids to Toys R Us. I feel you, Saga." Yeah, man. The time has passed for that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
But what they're essentially they were sports washing, getting into the footy and wrestling and all that different stuff, and now they're entertainment washing. Like they're trying to rehabilitate their image while you also have to go to the places and ignore the rumored slave labor and life conditions and stuff. Like they're a very strong dictatorship in a way that our guy wants to be, and it's not a great situation when like consolidation is bad, which is why again Linacon was on the right side, and we'll see if anyone around the globe tries to fight this. But I don't think there's a legal argument against it, because it's not like they have some. This will give them a monopoly in entertainment or gaming in any way. It's them getting their foot in the door. The biggest foot of all time and the largest door ever for going private. But
yeah, indeed. Before we get out of here, before we go,
no, we're going. I'm just saying the last thing.
Story. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
just really quick.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm more concerned with the Affinity Group than the Saudis in this situation, and I don't know why.
Well, that's he is if the Saudis are going to deal with anything in the West, he is just the go-between. Yeah. He's their money-making go-between.
Any money in it, because I feel like it is more likely to get broken up for parts in that way. It was 30-something billion from the Saudis and then 20 billion in debt. Like it's a Saudi purchase, really, in the long run. So Kushner's firm is just like facilitating the deal.
Yeah,
like
he is.
Yeah.
As part of all the backslapping and everything, he is he holds the gate to the key.
So that's the guy. That's the guy they have to bribe. I understand. All right.
So before we get out of here, this is just the last story, and this is just me being very messy, and this is me. I said it. I told y'all didn't believe me, but it's true. What am I talking about? Halo is actually pretty good. People are still watching it.
Season 2 is, you got to
correct. Season 2 is kicking butt and taking names. For those in our community who refuse to give season 2 a chance, there's a quick story. It's making the rounds on Netflix. People are digging it to the point where I hope Netflix greenlights a season 3. Everborn Saga. I'll save you for last, Jesse. I know how you feel about Halo season 1 and 2. I've heard you and Sick talk about it. What do you think about the idea that this thing might have a zombie life on Netflix?
You never know. It's so far away now that it's definitely not easy to bring back.
Yeah.
But you certainly hope.
There you go.
That they're able to bring it back. That they use more of this song in it, because season 1 during COVID. Lots of issues with the production and having to stop and start back up, and having them really not want it to be too tied to the game. And then 2, doing a very good job of starting to tie more and more game stuff in. Bigger fights, better looking, bigger sets, more stuff. So I hope so. Season 1 was very successful. Season 2 was very successful. But they were being bought by one of the worst families on the planet. Apologies if you like Annapurna. They're part of the same family. The Ellisons and Oracle and all that.
Well, hold on.
I hope.
Lucius is telling us we shouldn't do that. We'll get a copyright strike.
No, this is Halo Infinite. You're fine. Halo Infinite, you do not get copyright striked. Anything Marty or Junichi, I forget his name, for 4 and Neil Dabbage in them. 4, 5 Reach, 1, 2, and 3 Reach, not so bad. 4 and 5 you cannot play. Halo Infinite. Good as can be.
Okay. Excellent. That's awesome. So I am excited because look, there was a bet. I tried to get some community members to get a chance to watch Halo season 2. A lot of people aren't doing so, but I will say, look, if I have to, I'll do it my damn self. I want to rewatch Halo season 2 because I think it's actually pretty good. If you like it,
season 1 was okay. Like season 1 season 1 was okay for when you know the reason why it was the way it was. A lot of talking in the same hallways over and over again because COVID was hitting and you couldn't have a big group of people around.
Yeah.
It sucked.
I think they should. I think the most important thing about this is that it shows that there's interest in a Halo TV show. And I think to me that says you can bring a Halo TV show back, not this Halo TV show back. And you can do it on Netflix and recast the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this TV show was essentially starting Halo CE. So if you keep the cast and you keep a lot of that stuff and you push, I like her a lot. She's a good actress. You push Charlie Murphy to the side a little bit and you just do Halo CE and you have that whole thing happen. And then you introduce the new
I'm sorry,
suppose.
Jesse,
Okay.
but she will never be my Charlie Murphy. I'm sorry. I have another Charlie Murphy.
Charlie
That
E.
in my heart forever.
Yeah. R.I.P. Charlie with a
That's what
Y.
it is. That's right. Rest in peace to the real Charlie Murphy. I'm sorry.
I'd only kiss one Charlie Murphy though.
True.
Oh no,
true.
I'd kiss both.
I don't know
It's
about
funny.
that. On
the
that
cheek.
note, ladies and gentlemen.
Good joke.
On the cheek. You see what he did there? Oh man. On that note, Master Cheeks, for those who know, we're done here.
Bring back the Halo TV show, I say.
Yes, I agree. I think
we've seen Amazon do it with The Expanse. We've seen Netflix do it with Lucifer and a bunch of other shows. It can.
Why not this one? Let's go. I want to see season 3. I want them to finally capitalize on what was a turnaround, like proper turnaround. It was good.
Oh, there's one.
Stop chat.
One last thing before you roll the credits. I just want to talk about the fact that I got the full screen experience running on desktop.
Yeah. Okay, show us. Yes.
Well, I can't show you now because we're in my office and I don't do the insider program on my office because I need it to do important stuff. But the 4090 that is in the bedroom connected to the TV is now running the full screen experience, and I gotta say, it is amazing, glorious,
right? It's pretty good, right?
I'm gonna piss some people off. I just turned my 4090 into an Xbox, and there's nothing you can do about it.
He's just talking a lot of mess right now. John Wolf is coming
first, the task switcher, the game bar, and the funny enough thing is, I'm actually using more of the full screen experience with big picture mode than I am the Xbox app.
So for those who want to see it, Everborn can't show it, but I have a small little clip here, just a tiny clip. Here you go. So this is Everborn Saga's situation. His 4090 in the bedroom, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen, full screen experience. So there you go.
And that's just good. having the same experience on my current ROG Ally X, soon to be Xbox Ally X, having that experience be the same as what's on the big boy PC is it's exactly what I wanted and what I'd been striving for when I moved to PC in April of 2024. So it only took.
Chat is coming for you, sir.
Hey, do your worst, chat. It only took about 16 months. But this is kind of what I dreamed for. So controller first on controller first on PC, the task switcher with big picture mode until Xbox updates the UI on that app. And the game bar that is now reliable in full screen mode. It is perfect. It is what I'd been dreaming of. And now I have a seamless experience across both. I get a game, I pick up and play, same experience, not jumping around. And this PC is only used for gaming, so the full screen experience on it is perfect. And I'm in heaven right now. I'll try to do a video to show you guys how to set it up for anybody who cares about anybody who cares about that. For those people that are a part of the CEG movement, I'll try to do a video so you can get your desktop like that. But it really is great. And on the last thing I'll say is on the big picture mode thing, like it's using the full screen experience with big picture mode is like having a Steam Deck without all the compatibility issues. And you're way more powerful. So like, it is fantastic. And then having the same thing on the desktop, clutch.
So you are now converted. You worship at the altar of big picture mode. Of
full
the
screen
Xbox
experience.
Full screen experience. Okay,
Yes.
very nice. I hope they bring it to the PC properly soon enough, because I too think it's quite useful. Jesse, have you been playing with it in the various?
I haven't. I did it when we did a Gamescom. I really liked it. I've seen what people are doing, and I do think it's what will eventually become like the Xbox OS. And if you can kind of put that on anything that you put Windows on, that will be very nice.
Yeah, so this is Louver God. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name properly, but he asked, does it improve performance? So again, because I'm on a 4090 and it's a dedicated GPU, like the memory savings you get are only going to be for system, but you aren't really using that because the video card has
about 2 gigs of memory savings, like give or take.
But that's important on a handheld. If you're on a 4090, it's not really going to do anything.
I would say it's important if your system doesn't have the overhead. There are people who have desktops who don't have
no. I agree with that. Yeah. What I'm saying is on the 4090.
Yeah, you don't have that problem. You don't have
the performance is not what I'm looking at. It's more the user experience, but it does come in handy for lower end PC and obviously handhelds.
And we haven't got the full just that loads in experience for people yet. It's loading in on top of Windows when you hack into it now.
No,
there actually is the full replace your
Okay, because I saw there doesn't seem to be a way to get back to it outside of restarting. Is there?
Yes, that's the point. Yeah. So there's 2 ways of doing it. There's the unoptimized way where, to your point, it loads it on top of Windows.
Because that was the one I saw the first time.
Yeah. And then there's the optimized way where they'll restart it with no desktop behind it and just load it first.
Yeah.
And if you stay there, it stays there and you get all the benefits. The minute you load it to desktop once, you're going to have to reboot for it to get back into that optimized way.
I'm going to share a video later. Even on the desktop, it does not load the Windows shell.
Desktop,
it's directly into the Xbox app. And then I bring up big picture mode and then close the Xbox app. But that's my own weird thing. Jesse, maybe you've talked to somebody about this. Why
get out of here? 2 hours, man. 2 hours.
Why don't they use the UI from the cloud or the Xbox console on the Xbox PC app?
Because I think this is where they're moving to. Like, I think that this is them starting up the Xbox OS, because when next gen is this running on PC with hardware on the chiplets, your CPU and your GPU, and you've got pretty much every the rumor is every AMD GPU and CPU of a certain strength will have Xbox back compat hardware on it to make it so you don't have to relicense every game. And you can pay to turn that on and turn it into an Xbox. And so that is the future of the platform, which is PC first. So building a brand new thing that works best on PC is most likely the goal over the long term.
Everborn Saga, Wade Johnson 1 is asking, how did you enable this? You need to show him with a video.
Yes, I will. We're gonna make a video. Kay, I'll work with you on that. I can show you what you need to do, but we can't do it here because I don't have the right insider version. But we got to go. We'll talk. Listen, Wade Johnson. If you want to know how to do this, you should be in the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord, shame on you, because we handle these things like that in the Discord all the time.
So before we get out of here, the one and only Mr. Jessie Norris. Thank you so much for lending your voice, your vision to the show, to the proceedings today. Always love having you on the show.
Thank you.
Tell the fine people where they can keep up with your ongoings this and every week. Tell them about the Xbox era.
Yeah, just go to xboxera.com. We cover everything with a major focus on the Xbox platform, wherever that ends up being. Obviously, we're here on YouTube at Xbox Era. And main thing we're pushing is our Patreon in general, patreon.com/Xbox Era. But I am doing our 6th annual, I believe, 5th or 6th annual Extra Life charity stream. Friday, was it November 7th? I think it is. I got to look at the calendar real quick again so I don't get it wrong, because I did on social media. Yeah, Friday, November 7th. So come hang out. There'll be a lot of incentive games you can buy, and all the money goes to charity.
Awesome. I always love that you guys do that, man. It's a lot of work too. A lot of work.
I bought a thing. It's open now. If you go to the link that's on all our videos and everything, half of these are great. Half of these are horrendous, like Stinky Socks and Wet Dog and stuff. $35, and I'll spin the wheel and eat one for charity.
Oh Lord, that is awful. I will be there, sir.
Yeah, that's open. Any stream we do for the rest of the year, you can do that, and I'll do it.
That is hilarious. Okay. Well, for all those of you who are out there who are putting their bodies through this murder for charity and otherwise, I salute you. I couldn't do it. Good for you. Everborn Saga, sir, I know you'll be doing the thing. You're not going to be here next week. Where will you be?
No, that is because the Everborn Saga will be at New York Comic Con next week at the Javits Center. So if you are at, if you're in the tri-state area and you're into comics, manga, all that, come by, check us out. We will be at booth 2039. That's the same booth we were at last year. So come check us out at New York Comic Con, booth 2039 on the
Norman
main
Reedus.
floor.
Norman Reedus will be there. Oh, man.
Elliot Page.
And Elliot Page.
Ming Na Wen.
And actually, I'll be honest with you, I would have loved to meet Ming Na Wen. Love Ming Na Wen. Anyway, but yes. And so, too, will the Everborn Saga. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right.
Todd Howard. Oh, no.
He said Todd. And Brendan Fraser, which trivia, he and I went to the same school. Look at that.
All right. Black John says he'll be there. Black John, I want to see you at booth 2039.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Friday.
Excellent. So that, and of course, the Everborn Saga as well, which if you know this show, you can jump on the Everborn Saga, in addition to all the wonderful, great wares that you can purchase there, including clothing, as well as the Everborn Saga's universe as well. There's also a link where you can actually purchase GCP merch. And what's that code again to get percentages off? I forget.
GCP, that's it. You got to use
there
GCP, all capital letters at checkout. 15% off your order.
By
the way, go click at the top. You can click on the gaming circle.
Yeah. And then
merch.
The channel, the merch. There's the merch.
They can see.
Yeah, I'm so bad about pushing our merch.
I need to do better, Yes,
yeah.
and they have such funny merch too,
Or Console Wars is right there and still gone. I always forget. Bad about it.
Which I co-sign. If you don't have Console Wars and you're doing any kind of game night, you're doing it wrong. It is excellent for gamers and non-gamers alike. I have so much fun introducing Console Wars to people. People need to play Console Wars. It's very funny and it's very good. So there's that. But yes, tell me, Everborn Saga. Can I now purchase my own wares at my store, or is it still not my size?
That is entirely up to Adidas. You're gonna have to click on one of those and find out, sir.
All right. So if I were to click FAMAS has my size, right? But GCP doesn't have my size. Either I'm large or I'm 4XL. There's no double XL for me. What the hell, man?
Blame the Germans.
Blame the Germans? Okay, on that note, we're done here. Lord help us. And of course, before we get out of here, the great Soil Tech says, please share and subscribe. He's been a member for 16 months. Thank you so much, Soil Tech. Appreciate you always reminding us to continue to be on the host grind. Thank you so much. But that's it from us. I think that's it, man. We've came, we saw, we conquered. There's a lot going on in the news and all that, but I think by and large we've said our piece. There's more to talk about, but we'll leave it there. Till next week. Have a good one. Thanks, Jesse. Oh, and I didn't get to use this soundboard, which I totally should have used today.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Peace.
I have to be in orbit.